Okay, it is time to talk about our hero. Get excited. This is the main someone our story is about, the protagonist, the one we go on this journey with. Now, what is the most important thing about your hero? Any ideas? The most important part, the most important thing about any hero is their journey of transformation. They start out one way and they end up another. Call it a character arc, whatever you want, but a hero changes. I don't care if your hero is Wonder Woman, Black Panther, The Dark Knight, they go on a journey of change. And this is huge. Everything about your movie now and every film you do in the future is about this. Jurassic Park isn't really about dinosaurs chasing people. The Next 3 Days isn't really about a husband jailbreaking his wife. Star Wars isn't really about blowing up the Death Star. Each of these films is about a hero who goes on a journey of transformation. Now, we're going to talk about 4 very specific things about a hero that you need to understand. And the great, amazing news is when you understand these things, you're going to be able to craft better heroes for your films. They are 1, the right hero. 2, their flaw or the lie they've believed. 3, what their goal, an external relatable goal. And then 4, the ghost. Point 1, the right hero. You've got to pick the ideal hero for the specific story that you're telling. What hero serves your idea the best? Your idea in genre. Is it a grade school kid? Maybe it's a police officer. Maybe it's a stay-at-home mom or dad. Who? Look at the cat example, the little cat movie that we talked about. If you're telling that story and you decided the genre was going to be thriller, would the hero best be an older man, a younger woman? Who? Or what type of job are they going in for? Like all of these things play in, like because the job they're going for could be related to the person breaking in, etc. Like the ideas are limitless. An example that I love of choosing the ideal hero is The Last Samurai. It's a film that Edward Zwick directed, and it's amazing. And the protagonist of that story was an anxiety-ridden captain who served under General Custer. I can't imagine a better hero for that movie. It's impossible to think of a better one. I'm sure you get it. So, and that's what I want for your movie. When people watch your movie, I want them to think, wow, if they thought about it, I can't imagine a better hero for that story. Point 2, the lie and the flaw. Okay, I want you to clear your head, Ghostbusters style. Don't think about anything else. And if you don't know what I meant by that, I'm just older than you. You've got to wrap your head around this point. What I'm telling you will affect the rest of your career. It affects the hero's journey of transformation. Every hero has a flaw. Just because they're the hero doesn't mean they're doing everything right. In fact, they can't be. You cannot make a great film about a perfect person. That's boring. The most important thing about your hero is their journey of transformation. And if films are all about transformation, then that means you start out one way and you change, right? So here's the big thing to understand about a hero's flaw. The flaw that any hero has it's nothing to do with external issues. It's an internal problem. It's a flawed belief system. Dr. Alexander Lloyd, in his book called The Love Code, says this: the internal always creates the external, never the other way around. K.M. Wayland, in this book, Character Arcs or Creating Character Arcs, talks about how a hero has a flawed belief system that they need to fix. Now, your hero might even want to change. Like they may understand that something's wrong, but they're trying to fix it externally. They're trying to fix it under a flawed belief system. Does this make sense at all? Let's look at Jaws as an example. In Jaws, Chief Brody had a flaw that was a result of believing a lie that people could bully him, tell him what to do, push him around, okay? He's the chief of police. He's in charge. Let's think about it. If he didn't have that flaw, when the first person was killed by the shark, all he had to do was close the beaches, which is what he wanted to do. But he caved to the mayor, he caved to the townspeople, he reopened the beaches, and guess what? More people died. The shark can't eat people if they're not in the water. So Chief Brody's the internal lie that he had believed caused bad things to happen. All right? So, and it also kept him from achieving his external relatable goal, which was to keep people safe. So let's talk about point 3, your hero's goal. We need to know what your hero wants right away at the beginning of the film. And I know this sounds basic, but you might be surprised how easy it is to lose sight of this. So I don't care what great ideas you have for your movie, the action, the suspense, the scares, the comedy. If your audience doesn't understand what your hero wants right at the beginning, then they can't empathize with them. The audience has to care. And if the audience can't empathize with your hero, roll credits. I mean, you're toast. So, and empathize, by the way, doesn't mean we agree with them. It just means we understand why something is important. Take Little Miss Sunshine. Little Miss Sunshine's a film about starring Abigail Breslin. She plays Olive Hoover, and she's a little girl in a kind of a dysfunctional family who wants to compete in a dance competition out in California. Well, some of us don't know what it's like to be a little girl. Some of us don't know what it's like to dance or want to be in a dance competition. So these are not necessarily relatable goals to a lot of people. To some people, sure. But the film does a great job at establishing why that's important. We get it and we care. So that's important. Now, you can also use a goal that's more widely relatable, and I wouldn't limit yourself to that. But obviously, if it is a relatable goal, then it's easier for people to understand. Like in Jaws, Jurassic Park is don't get eaten. Those are primal goals, and people just get that. But as far as the main goal of your hero, it's typically much, much deeper than something primal. Again, not rules, just talking it out. So we've got the right hero, we've got the lie and the flaw, we've got an external goal, and one more point on the goal, and we're going to talk about this more in the next lesson, but you want to show the goal and positive attributes about your hero before you show the flaw, even if they're back to back. And the reason is because we got to get the audience on board with the hero. So let's say your hero is kind of a jerk, well, and like Lightning McQueen in Cars. Well, we show some positive things about the hero before we show the flaw. And again, next lesson we'll talk about that. The final point, point 4, is the hero's ghost, or the ghost. So the ghost is filmmaking lingo for something that happened in our hero's past that haunts them. It's typically the reason for the lie that they've believed, the internal flaw that they have. You don't always see the ghost, so don't be pressured to use this, but just you need to understand it exists. For example, in Jaws, we never learn why Chief Brody moved his family from New York. We know it happened, but we don't know why. So a ghost is kind of hinted at but not explained. Whereas other films show us the ghosts, like The Kid, starring Bruce Willis. I love The Kid. It's a great film. And basically our hero is a very jaded, cynical, rude person that goes on a journey of change. And partway through the film, they show us that as a child, he lost his mother very unexpectedly, and his mother was the one that really cared. His dad was harsh, didn't treat him very well. Not abusive, but just, well, yeah, emotionally abusive. So anyway, we understand why he is the adult that he is, why he has the flaw that he has. And so the ghost works very well in The Kid. Another film that shows us the ghost right away is The Greatest Showman. P.T. Barnum, his flaw is that he's chasing success, he's chasing status to fix his internal flaw. And the reason this all happened is because he was a boy, the son of a poor man. He was a nobody. They were abused. His dad didn't protect him. So right away, we understand P.T. Barnum's drive for success. We totally get it because they showed us the ghost. So not every film uses the ghost, but a lot of them do. Another studio example is Batman Begins and The Last Samurai, as we've mentioned. So we've got those 4 points. Let's take reckoning through them and see what I did with my film dealing with these 4 different parts of the hero. Point 1, the right hero. So my hero is Rose Lawson, a 7-year-old girl who witnessed the murder of her parents. Now, this is the right hero because, remember, with ideas, I'm combining something old with something new, something to make it unique. So I'm telling a unique story about standing up to fear, for me, for this story, there's nothing better than a young girl having to stand up to a notorious outlaw. So I think I've got it with the right hero. So I wanted Reckoning to be about standing up to fear, but specifically standing up to fears that we've conquered before. And so Rose, because that's life. Often we don't just beat things once. That's a very important thing to me. It's sometimes very scary and very hard as humans to think we beat something only to struggle with it again, to fail again, to see it in our life again. It can be terrifying. And so this is what happens with Rose. She's believed the lie that evil went down with one punch, and that didn't happen. So she has to undo that lie and believe the truth and stand up to the outlaw. Rose's goal is she wants to be safe. She wants to live life. She wants to put the bad memories of the past behind her. And so we get that. We don't want to dwell on the memory of our parents being killed. We don't want to dwell in fear. So that's understandable. Chief Brody, his external goal was to protect people. P.T. Barnum, he wanted to be successful. So, think about your goals. Mine isn't stated as much as P.T. Barnum's is, but we get that she's a little girl out in the wilderness that wants to be safe and who is afraid of that not happening. Okay, with the ghost in Reckoning, in the second half of the film, we learn about Rose's confrontation with the outlaw that killed her parents. So this not only shows the audience and another key character in the movie what happened, but it helps us understand her tremendous fear about standing up to this guy. And another side note on that, it also makes Reckoning a standalone film, because you don't have to see Rose and the Outlaw, which is technically the first installment, from Reckoning to make sense when you watch it. So that's just a side interesting note as you think about things for your own stories. Okay, it's go time. Action step. I need you to think about the right hero for your story. I need you to think about what their flaw is. What lie have they believed that needs to get fixed? Because remember, and something else I want to say about the lie that I didn't mention is that correcting the lie helps them achieve their external goals. It's only when Chief Brody defeated the lie and believed the truth that he was able to stand up to the mayor, stand up to the townspeople, stand up to Quint, the captain of the boat, and defeat the shark. All of his external goals worked correctly when he fixed his internal problem. With P.T. Barnum, when he fixed his internal problem and realized that his wife and his family and himself are enough, then all the external success and goals were still there, but they worked the way they were supposed to work. He was able to hand the show over to his business partner and go enjoy time with his family without being in angst because he had fixed his internal flaw. So when you're crafting the flaw and the lie and the external goal for your hero, realize that their external goals will sometimes, if not always, be fixed when their flaw is fixed. And then and only then. They can't fix the external until the internal is fixed. Or they can fix the external only to realize that didn't work, and then they work together later. So I guess that's true. So let me back that up. They can achieve a goal, but that's only to realize that wasn't the real goal. Just like The Greatest Showman. Okay, point 4, you need to decide if you want to show the ghost in your story. And a lot of stories don't show the ghost, so don't feel pressure on that one. And then if you're still trying to come up with an idea, premise, and genre, still okay. Keep going in the lessons. There's a couple more you can watch, and I'll tell you when, that are safe to watch and keep learning, which will help you get those ideas and help them clarify. Okay, the next lesson is incredible. It's super exciting, not because of me, but because of the creative aspects of storytelling that you're about to learn that will empower you to be an amazing filmmaker. I'll see you there.